So, in the paddock with Lee Scott, defending champion from last year. Lee, how are we looking this morning, finally back racing at Snetterton?
Yeah, it was quite an unusual experience coming back to the track, actually. I wasn't quite sure I felt up for it coming into this season. I said at the end of last season I'd like to pull back from hunting for the championship win. Obviously, when I come racing, I still want to win at the track, obviously. That's what we're here to do. But I wasn't sure if I wanted to go championship hunting anymore. So, yeah, it felt quite strange coming to the track today. But, you know, now I'm here behind the wheel. Yeah, it's all still there. And, yeah, loving it.
Excellent. Of course, you were out in qualifying earlier today. How did that go for you?
Actually, it was quite patchy because we had some rain earlier on, and I managed to take a tour through some of the fields, and there's some good crop growing going on. But the rest of the track wasn't too bad, and I'm quite surprised actually I managed to qualify second, it seems, which is better than I was expecting.
Brilliant stuff. It seems like it's still in there with the long break that we've had, of course. I've been talking to quite a few drivers about the long break, seeing how they've been managing to keep up with their skills and everything. For you, is it the same? Have you been managing to... How have you been doing it?
Yeah, good question. So at the start of lockdown, I decided that my rather tired-looking car needed some paintwork on the front. So, yeah, we took a look at just the body panels on the front and tidied it up. As you can see, it's looking lovely. But that was about it. I'm not one to... I've never been one to go out on track days and testing. I've been fortunate enough, I guess, to remember how it goes from last year, so except for maybe the first lap. But yeah, so for me, not much work on a race car, nothing more than I expected. I haven't been standing there polishing it every weekend.
I know a lot of teams wanted to do that. We're looking down the further on, the washing the cars, making sure they're all nice and clean and everything like that. But here, it seems nice and relaxed, fun. It's what we like to see in the 750 paddock.
Excellent. Yeah, I'd like to think I've done what I wanted to do in racing. I managed the championship last year, the championship win last year for the third time, which was something I really wanted to do at the start of last year because no one had done the triple. So I was really thrilled to have got that. So yeah, feel like I've done it now.
Excellent stuff. Great to talk to you, Lee. It's best of luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you very much.
So it's the red and white Nova of Pip Hammond on the front row of the grid, alongside him the white Fiesta XR2i of Lee Scott, then Andrew Thorpe in the AX behind him. As the lights go out, the race gets underway. Good start by Lee Scott. By the looks of it, slower start, I think it was from Chris Deere in the yellow 205, as they streak their way up towards Rich's corner for the first time. So Pip Hammond on the inside, but he's going to have two cars go around the outside of him by the looks of it. Lee Scott and Andrew Thorpe there. If Thorpe can possibly make that work, he's still alongside. We've got that Stuart Place just riding over the curb, and the glass on the inside is going to go three wide down into Wilson Hairpin for the first time. Who's going to come out in front? It's going to be Pip Hammond after all of that does come out in front. Oh, and the wheel has gone missing. I don't know whose that comes from.
It may have been from Stuart Place's car. That one, the wheel didn't look right going through Rich's and going sideways. That would suggest why he was off the road. So looks like Stuart Place is missing, but up front, Pip Hammond made the most of that dive up the inside, and he's been re-challenged by Lee Scott, and then it's Pip Hammond's teammate Martin Rogers up there in third. Lee Scott has a big challenge round the outside. The back end of the car moving about under brakes, but he's got through the corner okay behind Hammond. Then he hops over the curbs. That didn't help Scott. He ran a bit wide. Then it's Rogers in third, Deere in fourth for the driver who really lost out there. Then was Andrew Thorpe. He's down to fifth. He was challenging for the lead a moment ago.
Martin Kayser has made up a little bit of ground, I think, there in the sort of martini liveried Fiesta XR2i. But those are the two leaders then, Pip Hammond and Lee Scott. Martin Rogers, as you say, in third place, and that is Stuart Place out of his car, parked up against the side of the road, and you can see, I think, the wheel there in the background on the other side of the track as well. Derek Rosier there going off all over the grass on the exit of Murray's.
Lap one about to be in the books, with Pip Hammond leading the first lap of the season, and both him and Lee Scott getting away from the rest now. Chris Deere's lost fourth. Andrew Thorpe's recovering. He's into that position now, and Jason Wood is who completes the top six, I think it was there. No, it's Ryan Morgan, who's made a fabulous start in the XR2. He started back in 14th on the grid. I presume this is relation of Pete, because I think that's his car, isn't it? There he's sideways, Chris Deere in front, so that might be another place for Ryan Morgan. Novice cross on the back of the car too. Yeah,
there's Andrew Tibbs making his classic stock catch debut.
Not been a good first lap.
No, it's not been brilliant, has it? Out at the back end of the top 10. Got Pip Hammond in the lead then, Lee Scott behind him, so two really experienced, really competitive classic stock catch drivers out front. They will take some catching, one suspects. Up into Brundle and Nelson they go. Of course, conditions have changed a little bit since qualifying. It was damp, it's now fully dry, I think. So it'll be interesting to see as perhaps cars come up to speed that weren't necessarily up to pace for practice this morning.
Yeah, and Ryan Morgan is it's like having his race debut and going fantastically. I'm assuming son of Pete. But
well, we will assume that, but if anyone can let us know, that would be very useful too. James Hazelhurst, number 12, we could see going through a shot a moment ago in 9th place. Of course, he had a win, didn't he, at Silverstone last year, and then promptly departed the championship. I think he was off travelling.
There he is amongst that battle. Derek Roser again goes off the road at Murray's. He'll be watching out for the track limits already there. Between first 2 laps of both those laps being not on the part of the circuit which is required. Lap 2 done, and here comes Andrew Thorpe up the inside of Martin Rogers and gets through. So the AX into 3rd position. So we've got 5 different types of car in the top 5 positions. You've got the Nova, the XR2i, the 205, the AX, and the XR2. Ryan Morgan, fastest lap of the race. This is a great effort, Ian.
Yeah, so he's done a 1:31.87, which is only 7/100ths outside Andrew Thorpe's lap record on this Snetterton 200 circuit, so I think we could see that lap record go before the day is out. There is number 46, Chris Deere, trying to get alongside 41, Jason Wood. This is for 6th position as they head along the Brentley Straight. It's still Pip Hammond, though, number 71 that leads. Number 1, Lee Morgan in 2nd place. About 2 3/4 seconds behind is now Andrew Thorpe in 3rd place as Scott tried to go around the outside into Brundle. I don't think that was going to work. Meanwhile, Ryan Morgan, has he made another place up?
Looks like he has. He's passed Martin Rogers now. So Rogers, who was 3rd, is down to 5th. Chris Deere's got ahead of Jason Wood. So a couple of the PDC racing cars have lost some positions on that lap, and then it's Andrew Tibbs behind Jason Wood. Wood hopping up onto 3 tyres. Oh, and Chris Deere has a problem. He pulls off the side of the circuit, or he's still on the circuit, but pulls off to the right-hand side and loses positions and is bound for the pit lane.
Going slowly, isn't he? So there's Ryan Morgan, number 53 then, just ahead of Martin Rogers, as we're saying. So up to 4th position. Here comes our race leader, Pip Hammond. Only about 3/4 of a second between him and Lee Scott, and the Fiesta in 2nd place. Andrew Thorpe is 3rd. Ryan Morgan in 4th position. In 5th place is, get it right, Martin Rogers, isn't it? Yes, Ryan is Pete Morganson. We've had that confirmed. Thank you, Paul Thorpe.
Andrew Tibbs up the inside of Jason Wood, and Jason Hasselhurst trying to follow through, so Wood loses a couple of places there at Ritchie's. He tries to fight back on the outside here into the hairpin. Brakes late in the Nova, but Hasselhurst has got the line in the 205. Great to see these multi-mark racing, and as I mentioned earlier, 5 different types of car in the top 5. I'm not sure if we see that anywhere else, Ian.
Not very often these days. No, it's fantastic to see this multi-mark racing, but it's side by side for the lead now into Brundle. It's going to be Lee Scott on the outside line for the first part of the S's, and he's got his car in front. He's done it. Lee Scott goes through to take the lead of the race away from Pip Hammond. Goes wide on the exit of the corner, though. Lots of curb being taken at Nelson. That's going to allow Pip Hammond back alongside and through into the lead at the bomb hole. So a great race this for the lead.
Not over yet, is it? Lee Scott was going to try and replicate the move then into Coram, but no, I think they've now settled in the positions they are for a moment or two. So Hammond back in front. Great to see these 2 really experienced drivers having a good battle. No success ballast, of course, as this is the first round of the season. So that means it's absolutely natural pace, and there's nothing that can separate these 2 cars. It is a new fastest lap now for Andrew Thorpe. The driver in 3rd place is catching 1:31.51.
Yeah, and that is then a lap record. So Andrew Thorpe's lap record has gone the way of himself. He's taken his own lap record. Wonder if it'll go again during the course of this race. So Hammond and Scott separated by basically nothing there out front. Andrew Thorpe 3rd, catching them now. I wonder if we'll have a 3-way battle for the lead. Andrew Thorpe has been championship runner-up in the past in 2015 to Matt Rosier, and has had sort of wins pretty, quite regularly over the past few seasons. So certainly not unexpected to see him pushing these 2 benchmarks, as you'd call them, really, in the Demon Tweeks Yokohama Classic Stock catches. So they're on the left-hand side of the circuit as they look at it, the right-hand side as we look at it now. Scott jinks to the outside, going to travel all the way around to the outside into Brundle. Hammond making him go a long, long way around, and this time he can't make it.
No, so Pip Hammond knows where the attack's going to come from now, doesn't he? He was full-on defensive mode all the way down the Bentley Straight, so it's the Nova that leads then through towards the end of this lap 5 Hammond from Scott, 71 from 1. So reigning champion Lee Scott chasing former champion Pip Hammond. But as he said earlier, both are multiple champions in this category. Pip Hammond locks up, he flings it up onto 3 wheels. Can he carry the momentum off the corner? I think he has done fairly well, but it's a long stretch in these low-powered cars to Ritchie's. So we'll see if a challenge can come. Scott right in the toe of the leader. Like somebody's getting a driving standards flag, but it's side by side for the lead into Ritchie's. Lee Scott was looking to the outside, and there's a car on its roof at Murray's. Oh dear, that I think may bring a pause to proceedings.
Possibly will. Marshals are on their way to deal with that one. Meanwhile, the race does continue. Marshals just checking that the driver is okay, having the car having been inverted. But here they come. Off Chapman they go, and Scott right in the toe of Pip Hammond here as we've heard the driver okay in that car, which is good news. But look at this, down the straight they come, Josh.
It's Terry Roughton that's not come through, by the way. So.
Yeah, I thought it might be his car.
Here they come, the leaders. So again, this could be racing to a yellow flag. And Andrew Thorpe's caught them, hasn't he? It's free for the lead into Brundle, and it's Hammond that has it at the moment. But again, he knows where to position his car through this sequence of corners. I assume that we're going to get a safety car with that car right on the edge of the circuit.
Driver out, though, which is good news. And Terry Roughton making his way to a position of safety.
Safety car is pulling out on the circuit, as you can see. So where is the first yellow? That's what they're racing to, just like we saw in the race earlier on today. It was Pip Hammond, though, that led when we last saw them.
There's already yellows in the background to sort of quorum, isn't there, I think? So I think they've already seen the yellow flags there.
So Andrew Thorpe had caught them anyway. Hopefully we're going to get some more racing, but I know one, because it's going to take a little while to right that car, isn't it? And then, so this may, much like the low-cost race, be as far as we get. But great racing there between Pip Hammond and Lee Scott.
Yeah, end of lap 6 then. This is the order. 71 Pip Hammond is leading. In second place is number 1 Lee Scott. In third place is number 3 Andrew Thorpe. In fourth place, number 53 Ryan Morgan. In fifth place is number 39 Martin Rogers. Sixth is number 28 Andrew Tibbs. Seventh is number 12 James Hazelhurst. In eighth place, number 41 Jason Wood. Ninth place, number 88 Martin Kaiser, and 10th, number 77 Derek Rosier. So we've lost from this race Chris Deere, whose car's being pushed back into the paddock, you can see, and Terry Roughton, of course, who sadly has rolled. We didn't see how that happened, but sad to see his AX, which we'd seen out for the first time here, inverted. So we'll see whether we do get a restart. There was 5.5 minutes to go at the beginning of this lap, and our lap behind the safety car will take sort of 2 minutes or so, won't it? With the speed being much reduced.
Really good to see, and we've got 3 very competitive drivers at least in this series this year, and I think we can add Ryan Morgan into this because this is his first race. Not sure how much time he's had in the car prior to this race, but he started, what did I say, 14th on the grid, something like that. 14th on the grid, and he passed most of them, hadn't he, on that first lap?
Yeah, that's a very impressive performance.
And his lap time is quicker than Pip Hammond's, actually. So Ryan Morgan, in his first ever race, quicker than a double champion. I think he'll take that.
You would think so. So we're behind the safety car here at Snetterton. Pip Hammond leading the way from Lee Scott and Andrew Thorpe. We've had this car go over at Murray's. Terry Roughton out of it, which is good news. The car can be fixed, hopefully, but drivers can't be quite so readily fixed. So good to see that Terry's out of the car. There's the number 92 car, Rick Groom. He's in 13th position. He's had a little bit of attrition during the course of this race, unfortunately, but it hasn't stopped it being an absolute cracker, has it?
It's good to see the slipstream with these long straights at Snetterton really coming into effect. They are easy overtakes, are they, in this type of racing? Perhaps like the low cost where you can more readily just slipstream past somebody. You have to work at it. And we saw Lee Scott manage to do it for about a corner, and then that's the problem at the S's. You go around the outside at Brundle, and then getting the car stopped and turned in for Nelson is harder, and we saw that he ran out wide, and Pip Hammond was able to get through. It wasn't easy again, though, for Hammond to get that position back.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And with these two so experienced against racing against each other, they know the strong and weak points of each of their cars, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So they go on to another lap. Pip Hammond, of course, still leading the way because we're under the safety car here. Of course, it's not the car he originally raced in. Stock Hatch Class B.
Yeah, that's the car that Jason Wood races now,
I think so, yeah. having been through various hands in the intervening period, but Pip acquired this particular car a few years ago, and I think it's an old rally car, and originally had the rally suspension still on it, didn't he? Which made for some interesting handling.
Yeah, remember that first time out, it was at Croft, wasn't it, going through the hairpin, through the complex. It was spectacular.
Yeah, but it's pretty well sorted now. And as we say, Pip Hammond not just appearing in the Nova these days in classic stock hatch, but we've seen him out in various different things over the past few seasons as well, including Club Enduro as well recently. Seen him do some of that. It's Pete Osgerby, near neighbour of Pip Hammond from Barrow upon Humber.
It's the cars with PDC on the side have sort of taken over from the Rosiers, haven't they? As
They have.
the most the most of them in the paddock. We've got at least 4, I think. So that's great to see Jason Wood's firm bring in so many cars to the meeting.
Definitely. Looks like we're going to get a checkered flag at the end of this one, which is no great surprise. We're probably getting up towards 15 minutes anyway in the race. So again, with no prospect of getting any more racing laps in, it makes sense to show the checkered flag. That's what we'll see this time around, I think. So just a question of getting these cars up to the line. Hopefully the second race a little bit later on will be not quite so disrupted, and we'll get a good race. I'm sure it'll be mixed emotions for Pip, because he will be glad to have a win, but I'm sure he'd love to have a few more laps racing against Lee Scott as well, because he thrives on the competition.
It's rare to sort of see a classic stock hatch race end like this, isn't it? Normally, generally, there aren't the incidents out there, and seemingly just a bit of bad luck. They got big curbs here at Snetterton. Even the first time a car in this championship has hit a big curb at Snetterton and gone over, we saw that rather more spectacular crash a number of years ago now at the other side of the circuit going into Nelson, which I think hit a few YouTube views. There's a few of the stock hatch incidents have here over Snetterton at the years.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, up to the line they will come. So this will be the completion of the 8th and final lap of the race, the checkered flag being made ready. And it's going to be a victory, therefore, in the opening round of the Demon Tweeks Yokohama Classic Stock Hatch Championship for number 71, Pip Hammond. Then he takes the checkered flag. Second place goes the way of number 1, Lee Scott. Third place, number 3, Andrew Thorpe. In fourth place, number 53, Ryan Morgan. In fifth place, number 39, Martin Rogers. In sixth, it's number 28, Andrew Tibbs. Seventh to number 12, that's James Hazelhurst. In eighth place, number 41, Jason Wood. Ninth is number 88, Martin Kaiser. 10th is number 77, Derek Rosier. Then the other cars to make it to the finish, as the AX has now been righted now. It's looking a little bit sorry for itself, isn't it? On the finishers, Darren Bassingthwaite was 11th, Paul Brock 12th, Rick Room and Pete Osgerby rounded out 14 finishers that we had in the end. So a shame that it finished that way, Josh, but the few laps, what did we get, about 6 laps of racing, were pretty good.
Absolutely. We saw that 3 wide moment at the beginning, didn't we, into the hairpin. Andrew Thorpe, did well, didn't he, to recover, because I think he fell back to 5th after being sort of hung out wide there. Yeah. And he fought way way back to the leaders. So that was a true indication that it had 3 cars at the front on pace before the safety car, because Thorpe had just caught them. So he probably is the most frustrated, isn't he? Because he just caught them to have a battle, and then the race came to an early close. And it's going to add very much an interesting race, as you say, in the middle of the afternoon, to see now everybody's sort of worked out the dry conditions in these cars, perhaps change the setup a little bit, and we could have a number of cars battling later on. And Andrew Tibbs getting more used to this older car. He dropped back at the beginning, but fought his way back into the top 6. We're about a second and a half away on his pace, but I suspect as Tibbs gets more used to this car, works out to get the right setup on it, that he should really be a front runner.
Yeah, definitely. Remind you, 2 more races before lunch. We've got the Yokohama Mazda 7 Series coming up next. First standalone race for those cars, so that should be one to look out for and one to enjoy. And then we've got the Takiwa Type Art Trophy as well. So I know a lot of people tuning into the live stream for that. There's a race coming up fairly shortly at about 12, maybe a little bit after, because we're a few minutes behind the timetable. And then they're on again for the final race of the day at around about 5:30. So if you're looking out for the Type Rs, that's when you can see those, the Takiwa Type R Trophy.
I'm looking forward to this next race, seeing the Mazda 7s. I think that bit more speed than the low-cost cars, but a similar kind of slipstream in effect. That should be really good fun. There's some good drivers in it. It was close up front in qualifying this morning.
Yeah, no, it should be really really interesting. That, looking forward to seeing that. wheel being dispatched over the barrier for Stuart Place to collect later on, having been retrieved by the JCB driver.
See a round of applause for the drivers from the spectator bank, Sarah Morris.
Yeah, good to see, and good to see so many visitors here to Snetterton today, enjoying the racing and the overcast conditions that we have at the minute, but at least it's not raining. Anyway, the cars are now down into pit lane, so we'll say hello once again to Anthony Jordan.
Pip, well done. Yeah, we'll wind that window down. I'll come in. What a race that was.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I obviously I was on the pole, so it probably looked like I made it more hard work than it should have been. But the qualifying setup was a bit of a gamble with the wet track to start with, at least. So I didn't know if that pace was going to carry over to a dry track in the race. And yeah, Lee put up a good fight there, and I see young Ryan Morgan coming in the mirrors as well, all the way from the back. So it might not be so easy for race 2, but I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it did look fantastic from our end. Of course, yeah, like you say, a massive scrap with Lee Scott from there, defending his championship, of course. But through some of the sections of the track, it looked very close, but clean racing we saw.
Yeah, we had a little nudge, but it was more because I was trying to back him up than because he was trying to push his way through. Now, I mean, you don't win as many championships as Lee has without doing it the right way, you know. So it's nice to race with Lee because you know where you are. He's never going to make it easy because that's not what he's about. But it was a good, fair race, and I really enjoyed it. I do just want to give a quick shout out to Dave Vass, who's normally up scoring laps with Ian in the commentary box. So get well soon, Dave. We hope to have you back at the track soon.
Excellent. Well done. Great win.
Thank you very much. Cheers.